Before we get started, make sure that you are subscribed to all the dorky diggity goodness on the channel, and if you want to see more, click on that notification button. Now enjoy the video. Learn a little something. Take a lesson. Learn it all. Yo, this is Dorky Diggity Dave, and today we're taking a look at my masteries. I get this question all the time. Dave, can we see your masteries? So here they are. Now, we're just going to go through this pretty quickly, because it is rather simple. This is my non-SooweeSides build. I just say it like that funny, you know, YouTube and all that. But let's have a look here. So, as you can see, these are all pretty much gateway choices here. I call these gateway because you fill one in to get to the next one, right? So, I've got one in strength. I got one in greater strength, which gives a percentage of attack to all champions. And that unlocks everything over to the right. So we've unlocked courage. I've got 3 there, not only for a war build, but also if I ever end up, below 50%, I get a little bit of extra attack and can, defy the odds there. Over here, I have Pierce. Now, I've gone through this. I've had Pierce on 1 and 3 before, and this will go all the way up to 15%, and I haven't really seen enough of a difference to justify having 2 other points being used here. And the same thing will be true for some of these other ones that we're about to get to. So again, I've got another set of gateway choices here with lesser precision to get over to greater precision, or just regular precision, lesser cruelty to get over the cruelty. Now normally I usually have 3 and 3, but this time I have 4 just because I needed to fill up the points, and I'd rather just have more crit damage than extending fury. I don't have too many champions that are taking advantage of extended furies or anything like that. It's not like I have a like a Hyperion or anything. So I've got 3 in precision. And this has served me pretty well. I've had 3 in precision for quite a long time. I'd say at least 8 or 9 months. I haven't seen enough of a difference going to rank 4 or 5 to justify using 2 points here. And normally I usually have 3 here in cruelty as well. But again, I added another one here just to fill up the requirements to use any of the additional masteries over here on the right hand side. Now over here I have 1 in despair. I could have another 1 in despair, possibly, but right now I only have 1. I don't use void or reverse healing enough to add 1 in there, but possibly I could later on. I have 4 in deep wounds here for my bleed champions, which I use a lot more when I'm not running SooweeSides. And I have 5 of 5 in assassin, which is going to give me that 60% attack and ability accuracy reduction by 20% if the opponent is below 18%. So I've got all that set. I do run glass cannon every so often, but not on this particular build, mostly because I didn't have the points for it. Now let's get over here to defense, and I've got 1 here in vitality, and it's the same thing. It's 1 to unlock the things on the right. I've got 1 in greater vitality, and I moved over here and I have 1 in salve. Now look, this is recovering 1 health twice per second for 60 seconds, and it has no effect on robots. And if you rank this up, it just goes up to 4. I mean, there really isn't much going on here that's going to help you end game or late game. But what is important is recovery, because then any health that you recover is increased by 15%. So that one is really good. Down over here, I've got block proficiency up to 4. So my block proficiency is increased by 800. And over here, I've got perfect block. I just have 1. Sometimes I switch between this one and stand your ground. Sometimes I'll only have like 2 in stand your ground and put more into perfect block. I still test out different builds. But for now, this is the way that I have this built up. And over here on this side, I've got 3 of 3 in willpower, which I probably don't need that much of currently. This is usually for my SooweeSide builds, but I only changed my offense on my masteries last time. So normally I've got some extra mastery points right here for willpower, plus I have 2 just sitting here and coagulate. And that, now that I have Omega Red, I can actually take that down because I want to bleed longer when I'm using Omega Red. But it's not all that bad because you can still use it whenever you get a debuff. If you get degen or something like that, it still does help out to mitigate the damage. Which again, I'm not running SooweeSides right now, so that's probably not as necessary. But now that I'm getting a little more into the Mystic space, I can definitely use that over here in Mystic Dispersion whenever I decide to fully unlock that. I never brought that back. But let's take a look here at what I've got. So I've got 3 out of 3 in parry, which is important. You want to bring that up as high as you can. I've got 5 of 5 in limber. Again, that is more of a war build right now. And that helps out, especially if you get stunned by anything. It really does help out. It'll save you some potions if you get some crazy, kind of stun somewhere, especially if you're on like Mesmerize or something like that, or encroaching stun. Over here, I've got Stupefy maxed out, which is going to add an extra 0.5 seconds to any stun, which is very important if you're chaining combos in your stuns. Doesn't sound like much, but it really does help out a lot. Over here, I've got 1 in Dexterity. I really don't do much in this. I never did more than 1 in Dexterity, mainly just because I don't see enough of a difference. All right, moving on. We got Petrify over here. I've got 1 in Petrify, which is going to reduce any enemy regeneration by 10% and any power gain when they're attacked by 10%. So you can bring that up to 3. I try not to do this particular one because I like power gain for the most part, unless I'm on a 100% or 200% power gain type of thing, but those are more rare. I like power rotation. I like pushing champions into their next special so that I can continue getting openings, especially on stun immune fights. So this one I generally like to leave low. Now over here we got Pacify. When your champions inflict stun debuffs, they also reduce enemy ability accuracy. Now this one I bring up every so often, like if I'm doing like a Labyrinth of Legends run or something like that, or I know I'm going up against a magic or something like that. You want to decrease that ability accuracy while you're attacking, and it helps bring down the chances of limbo proccing, especially if you're using someone like Blade. It helps to really add to that danger sensibility accuracy reduction. But for now, I have 1 over here. Now, if I were to take those extra points, the ones that are sitting in willpower and coagulate and things like that, I could definitely bring up some Mystic Dispersion and get pretty nasty over here, which I probably will do in a future build. But for now, this is the way I have my Masteries set up. With the exception of this part right here, I'd say it's not bad to try out a build like this, especially on the offensive side here. I like to tell people to put 3 over here in Precision, 3 over here in Cruelty, just to go back over it. Because that really does free up a lot of points that you would otherwise max these out with, and you can use them elsewhere. You can put them in Glass Cannon, you can use them in Mystic Dispersion, Tech Collar, stuff like that. So anyway, that's my build for my Masteries. Let me know what you guys think. Go ahead and put your comments down below. If you have questions about the Masteries or you have your own build, let me know. Put that down in the comments below as well. And the rest of it, if you liked the video, and I hope that you did, go ahead and click subscribe, click like, leave a comment, share it with your friends, share it with your mama. All that stuff helps me out. And remember, stay dorky, and I'll catch y'all on the flip. Oh, Potamus. Learn a little something. Take a lesson. Learn it all.